from the grassroots, connecting people and sharing ideas.
All right, welcome back. This is Grace.
This is Gowri.
All right, today we are here with very awesome guy. He's the founder of WAMM. His name is Michael Chen. Hi.
Hi, morning.
How are you?
I'm okay. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It's still early in the morning and it's Friday.
Yeah.
Sorry to wake you up this early.
It's okay.
All right. Let's get into our topic. Today we want to talk about the arts development in Malaysia. And I believe you, as from the art scene, are pretty heavily involved in this art industry in Malaysia, I believe. Yeah. So could you, you were here before, but then could you again introduce yourself shortly?
Sure. Okay, yeah. Thanks, Grace. So, yes, my name is Michael Chen. One of the side projects I've been doing since 2006 is this website called WeAreMalaysianMade.com. While basically I started out as an actor in the local theatre scene, and it got me so interested. This was when I was still studying many years ago. And when I got so involved and I started enjoying myself so much, I also went into eventually TV, film as well. And I didn't want to just be an actor. I wanted to learn everything about it so that I could be a better player in the industry. My main focus was always to try and be an actor first and everything else second. And then in time I realized I also enjoyed being a producer. So WAMM came about when I tried to start a company on my own. And the company was first called ifilmindie.com because at that time what I wanted to do was I wanted to capitalize on the indie wave. You know, everybody was really into the whole indie scene.
And when was that?
This was back in 2006, yeah. So when I gave myself a short time frame to try and make that happen. When it didn't happen within the 8-9 months that I tried full time working at it, then I went back into working, and I instead of just letting all my efforts die, I turned ifilmindie.com into WeAreMalaysianMade.com. So from a website type company that I wanted to organize events and generate profit, and then from the profit generate more content. So I wanted to actually help local content creators, whether you're a musician, whether you're a filmmaker or an artist, as long as you're Malaysian and you want to make something that's based in Malaysia. I wanted to try and fund those kind of works through the profits I could generate from creating events.
But to organize all those events, right, you need sponsors, you need funds.
Correct. That's why I gave myself a short time frame. I gave myself about 8 to 9 months. If within 8 to 9 months I can't even make one good lead happen, I said then I can't afford to do this on my own.
Understand.
I have to go out and learn more, which is why I joined back the workforce, and I was fortunate enough to work with people who started things like Clue, the guys behind Freeform, and then eventually I joined Kakisani. And Kakisani is when I really got involved with the local arts. I have to say, in terms of the performing arts industry, I'm still a baby.
Oh yeah.
I've been doing it for years. Yes,
Yeah.
you can say I've been acting. I've been involved since 2003, so it's more than 10 years.
You're a pretty veteran in this field, no?
No, I wouldn't say I'm veteran at all, because especially when I started working in Kakisani 3 years ago, maybe more than that now, I started learning a lot more about the performing arts. I mean, the veterans are people, maybe they've become more like institutions, people like Joe Hasham and Datuk Farida American, Joe Kuketas, people like that. They are the veterans. They are the ones who have become the institutions. I'm still learning, but in terms of that's my background, and now I'm into with Kakisani, I also helped start a production company where we produced a movie. And
movies, what kind of movies do you produce?
Well, I learned a lot when I was with them, and when I was helping them start a production company, because they produce a bunch of short films projects, very large short film projects under Ikal Mayang. They're actually doing another season for next year. They already started work on that, so that will be the third season. I helped with the first season.
I see.
Where we shot 15 short films by 15 from 15 strong female personalities in Malaysia. Either you're a filmmaker or you're just a celebrity, or you're a celebrity, someone who have influence.
I see.
You don't have to be a filmmaker as long as you have a story to tell. So then we helped develop those stories into 15 short films, and then that was screened in various places. I think you even went to Busan.
Busan?
Yeah, the film festival.
Awesome.
Yeah, yes, exactly. So, and I then also produced an independent film through the production company. It's called Garang Pictures. It's a separate entity from Kakiseni, but it's connected somehow. And then, I guess that's my background. Now I'm working with a production company. I'm trying to start my own production company again.
Your own production company?
Yeah, I'm trying to start. I'm working with somebody on it right now.
I see.
It's called Reality TV.
Reality TV?
Yeah, where we work together closely with brands for now to develop online video content for them.
Wow.
And tell us more about WAMM, because you said
Yes.
it's for Malaysians,
Yes.
and it can be regardless of their talent, whether they're musicians, actors, or what. So how does it really work? How do you reach out to these people, and
And
how
you
how they
strongly
even
and heavily support
yeah.
local
Yeah.
bands,
Well,
and
I mean,
local arts.
with WAMM, actually what happened was when I failed, like utterly failed with iFilm Indie, right? It became like you know what? I'm not going to waste all my efforts so far. Because to do iFilmIndie.com, I was still even newer than I am now, right? I still consider myself new. So when I was doing iFilmIndie.com, my main focus within those 8 to 9 months was not just to try and get funding for projects, it was also to get to know the scene. So you could say those 8 to 9 months since I failed in getting funding. What I didn't fail at, fortunately for me, is that I went out and I just basically I played open mic gigs and got to know the music scene. I went out and talked to people who like Love Me Butch and all that, you know, and I talked to Ming and I said, hey man, you know, I really respect people like that, because people like that have paved the way, you know, for the local indie scene
Definitely,
from those
yes.
days. So I went as deep as possible into the music scene that I could get into, and then I also went into the short film scene. I went into the local indie directors. I got their phone numbers. I tried to talk to them. And that's how I kind of met people like Kai as well, Khairul Ambaha, who's been helping me with WAMM for a long time. And I basically went everywhere, and I even went into more theatre. So I did a lot more theatre, and the amount of people who do theatre who overlap, you know, people who do theatre are not just theatre. You know, a lot of them have done TV, they do radio, you know, they do all kinds of things, you know. So
true.
you see,
Well, Gowri is one of them.
exactly. So I feel like networking was my key point
Definitely,
during
yes.
that time, the 8 to 9 months.
Right.
So at least I didn't fail there. So what happened was that when I realized, okay, you know what, maybe I'm still too new, inexperienced to start a full-blown company. I have all these contacts who are constantly telling me, hey Mike, I got this going on, or I know someone who's trying to launch an album. Do you know somebody who can help them out? Can you help promote it on your website? And at that time I was going to close my website, you know, I was going to close iFilm Indie. Which is why, because I was going to close iFilmIndie.com, so there's no point keeping the website up. So then that's when I decided, you know what, I have all this content, people are emailing me all the time, and I remember at that time I just started working at Clue. So I was in the marketing division, and I hear even more things that are going on in the local art scene, creative scene, not just arts actually. So then I decided, you know what, I have all this information. I'm just going to start a website. And
You have a lot of content.
yeah, I had a lot of content, you know, it's all in my mailbox, and phone calls and SMSs, you know, those days no WhatsApp
Exactly,
yet.
yeah.
So I was like,
days.
I was like, don't waste this. And I was scratching my head trying to figure out what to do. My then girlfriend, now wife, Andri, you know, she and I were talking about it, and she said, you know what, since you're so into promoting local creative content, no matter what the medium, why don't you just call it like We Are Malaysian Made? You know, she came up with the name actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and it's got a nice ring to it. You can call it WAMM for short, you know, it's got that boom,
No,
you
I'm
know.
just gonna cut you off for a bit. Every
Yes.
time you say WAMM, that song
Right,
starts playing in my.
Before you go. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the point. I feel
Right.
like it's a cool name, and it really defines the things that I want to promote. Anything that's Malaysian made, and I'm not too sticky about, you know, if a filmmaker is based here and that that filmmakers.
Right.
German, for example, there was this German filmmaker named Julianne Block who was here for quite a few years before she left.
I see.
She made so much content when she was here, and it's all working with local artists,
Right.
you know, local action, local actors. So I used to promote her work as well because you know her work at the end of the day is Malaysian made. So that's how WAMM started, I guess. I hope I answered your question, Gowri.
I think that's more than enough, Michael. Yeah. Well,
What about in terms of reaching out to those people? Like how are they aware that there is web that can help me if I'm a local talent, local musician?
Yeah, that's your second part of your question, right? Yeah. Cool.
I guess there were two parts to my
yes,
question.
right. Well, actually, because of my networking extensively and I went out so
Right.
much, what eventually happened was that I got not just contacts from people who were doing stuff. I also got a lot of contacts of people who kept calling me. People like the Actor Studio. At that time, they had just launched the Actor Studio Lot 10, so they needed to fill it up with. They wanted to fill it up with more
Right.
content. They wanted to have more activities there. So they called me up and they say, "Michael, do you have anything?" And that's when I developed the idea that instead of just organizing my own, like let's say let's say I want to do a screening, then I call 5 filmmakers, I take their short films and I organize a screening. Instead of doing just that, you know, which at that time I had the time to do, then over the years I don't have that much time anymore. I thought it was a smart thing to do to try and help other people as well.
of course.
So if you're an indie musician, this would be the simplest. If you're an indie musician and you manage to save enough money to do your own album, you know, professionally record it in the studio, but then you don't have any marketing and distribution, right?
Yeah.
So that's when I would.
Sorry, I just I felt this so deeply.
Of course, right? I'm sure you feel it. So then what I would do if you need any help, and if I can help you, what I'll do is I'll call Actor Studio up, for example, and say, you know what? I have this content, this musician, she's coming up with an album, let's say. I got a whole bunch of short films as well, you know. So this event will be a screening of some short films that I've collected, as well as a launch for an album. So for me, it's a win-win for everyone because
course.
it's a content for Actor Studio, so
Right.
that people would go to Actor Studio and know about the space and hopefully watch other shows that will happen there. Number one. Number two is a win-win for the musician that
Talents,
I'm helping, the
yeah.
talent, you know, because then you get a location that is a nice location that is set up, you know, you
Good
proper sound
platform,
system, yes,
yeah.
a nice stage, and really we can you work very closely with that artist, you know, whoever I get, to help make it as much their event as it is mine, you know. So that's how I get
Right,
contacts.
okay.
And yeah, it's not just that, festival organizers will start calling me. I think it all stems from the fact that my networking was strong.
Okay.
And when people ask me things, hey, can you do this? I will have like 10 names that come up behind the back of my
You
mind.
just
Like,
have a guy for everything.
yeah, you know, I think I'll be like, wait, let me call this person, you know, maybe that person. If that person doesn't have
Right.
that person, connect me to somebody else. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the creative scene is so connected.
And
yeah.
of course, that came with like your hard work, you know, in terms of
course.
network and the mingling and the meeting this people and that people. But meeting right people is also another story, isn't it? Like, you know.
True. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, I think what happened. It's a good and bad thing. I consider myself one of my bad traits is I like to do everything. Like I'm like a jack of all trades but master of none kind of a thing. It's like because I like to do so many, you know. And so the bad thing is sometimes I don't improve as fast as I would like. You're right. That's one. But the good thing is I've managed to develop enough skill in all the things that I've done to really get into every, like, you know, singer songwriting, acting, to meet the real quality people. And I am enough thick skin to just like cold call and go up to these people and
Right.
say, hey man, I really like your stuff.
Of course, that's another step. That's another step for you to do.
Yeah.
But regarding WAMM, right? So far, have you faced any challenges or difficulties organizing WAMM or meeting people around? Yeah.
I would say the difficulties and challenges I've had with WAMM is that with the onslaught of calls that I started to get and emails I started to get, I wish I could help everybody that got in touch with me. I decided a long time ago when I started WAMM, when I couldn't make it into a proper business, I Film Indie into a proper business, that WAMM cannot be something that I want to. That cannot be the primary goal for WAMM. That it has to make money. I realized that I can't do that because either I don't know enough to make that work, or maybe it's just not possible. Maybe the model just doesn't work, right? To become a profit generating machine. So I decided a long time ago that this cannot be a profit generating thing. So when I get people, my main problem, my challenge is to be able to meet all this information that keeps getting me and to help make things happen, right? I'm just one guy. So it's very hard for me to eventually make so many things happen, you know?
That's true.
So that's the main challenge. How am I supposed to deal with all this wealth of information and people that get in touch with me? Even now, I'm getting tons of emails that say, "Hey, can you help promote this on the website? Can you help promote this on the website and on Facebook and on Twitter?" And I do my best to try to keep up. But honestly, that's one of my biggest problems. So because it's not a profit generating machine, I can't afford to even hire a part timer or even a college student who's looking for something to do on the side.
Yeah.
So I always tell people that WAMM is a volunteer based collective. It's not even an organization. I'm not a Sendirian Berhad or an enterprise. It's just a collective of people who feel passionate enough, like me, about what they do. So what I ended up doing is I kind of developed somewhat of a model where, let's say Kai, he's so well entrenched in the local film industry and the indie film industry. In fact, he's also another DIY guy. He's all over the place. He's music. He's now making his own T-shirts. This really cool brand called Create or Die. Check it out. He's got nice.
Right,
he's got
Create or Die.
Yeah,
Right.
he's making it himself. Like these T-shirts are hand designed and hand printed.
Oh, handmade.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, he's not sewing the T-shirts, but
Awesome.
yeah, it's really cool. I just bought one yesterday.
You should have one today.
yeah, he hasn't given it to me yet. I need to go and get it from him. So for someone like him, he would be my wealth of information of the film side. I was just mentioning the Grace just now. I also invited Yin and Az Samad to try to come with me today. Unfortunately, they're busy, so they couldn't make it. Yin and us obviously are so involved in the music scene.
Definitely. They're one of the prominent figure in the music industry.
They're not just artists themselves. Az is a very prominent artist. They also organize a lot of things, and they are very focused in music. So I met Yin a long time ago and I asked her, you know what, why not? Would you like to just have an account on WAMM? She was one of the people who used to email me and say, "Hey, could you help me spread news about this, about that, about this?" And I said, you know what, why don't I just give you an account on WAMM? Anytime any of these news happens, whether you hear about it about somebody else or you're organizing it yourself,
so she can upload it and update.
Yeah, just upload it on the website. It connects automatically to the Facebook and the Twitter.
I see.
And then what I will end up doing is that I will also then take that information and share it through my networks. And all the other contributors, as and when they are available, will also share. So it will be a nice little commune. You would get like people who are very entrenched in the music scene upload news on the website. Then someone like me who's a little bit more into theatre and film, maybe I will also then share it to my audience. And then Kai, for example, would share it to his audience. And then all our other contributors who catch on to it will share it in their own ways as well. So it became this collective who just helped each other out. I think that became the model. So I'm actually very open always, because WAMM is a volunteer-based website. I'm always willing to help more people like that. If you ladies want to organize things and you even just hear things and you just want to share news.
But are you selective though about the kind of news or?
For me, as long as it's a creative slant, meaning like I promote everything from my favorite bag maker in Malaysia, this guy, this brand called Green Room 136. So he hand makes all of his bags as well. And his bags are premium quality. You can talk about crumplers and all that. It's better effect, I feel sometimes. Design wise, he puts more thought into design. So for example, I promote people like that to bands, to filmmakers, right? So there's no real even that is creative to me. Creating a
Okay.
brand and marketing
course.
it, that's a creative endeavor. So I don't have that kind of criteria.
All right.
My only criteria, I guess, is that it has to be Malaysian somehow. So if it's a Hollywood movie, then you don't need wearemalaysianmade.com to help you promote the film.
Yeah.
And also my other criteria is I try my best not to get involved with politics.
Okay.
I don't want to taint WAMM, so to speak,
I see.
with because WAMM started as a thing as a platform to promote creative content. Um, most of the time, political issues, don't serve unless
But will there be any contents, regarding you may need to censor or you may need to, to avoid like from the artist or the talents?
No, I don't. I mean, if let's say a Malaysian artist wants to do nude photos, and it's an art thing for that person, I maybe
But
don't.
wouldn't that make you in trouble politically?
That's why. I mean, as long as
Yeah.
I don't make any, for me, I don't want to. As long as the integrity of the work that that WAM helps promote is for the creative purpose of it, is not to create an agenda. Then we promote it. For example, Seeing Eye Films produced that documentary / short film. It's a 20-minute thing online on YouTube. It's called Six Artists Reflect on the Future of Malaysia.
Oh.
Right? It's a very strong short film, and it's very heavily involved about the country and its politics. But I felt it was a very creative way of expressing those thoughts. So they even use people in the creative industry. So Douglas Lim, Joe Kukitas, all these people were the people who were being interviewed in that film.
Yeah.
So for me, I help promote a film like that because to me it's very good. It's a good documentary. Documentary should be produced like this, for me. So even though the content is about the state of the country and of course that involves its politics, it fits what WAM promotes still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as long as it fits the principle of what WAM,
Yeah.
the direction of WAM goes,
Which
then
is
you
very
can-
general, to be honest. It's not very specific because at the end of the day, it's not a business. It's not a it's still an organization. It's just still a collective of people.
I think that's
Yeah.
a great idea. So when are you planning to have another WAM sort of event? Do you plan to have any? Yeah. 'Cause
Well,
I remember it was just the last year, right?
correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember last year I attempted to do this thing called the WAM Fest, which you were involved in. The WAM Fest was the first time I tried to do something of that scale on my own. Usually, WAM gets invited to things like Sunshine Derby Arts Fest, and we are a
Yes,
small portion of
exactly,
it, or a venue is just launched. I remember when the B first started at Jaya One, when it was just at Jaya One, I was working with the content manager there as well to do screenings there, So usually over the past 2 years especially, because work has become a bit more busy for me, so I only do things when I get invited. Like
I see.
someone calls me and say, hey, we have this platform for you. Would you like to? Well, not for you. We have this platform. We have a venue or we have a launching. Would you like to be a part of it?
Well, actually, from today there is a Econite Film Festival going on. So how about that? You are not involved in this festival this time.
No,
Oh,
I mean,
see.
for them, I mean, that's what I mean. For me, it's like I think what happens most of the time is I will get contacts. I'll get contacted by people who run their own venues or who are organizing their own events. If they need extra content which fits what I promote, then they'll give me a call. And then because I'm not taking that on fully, it's not. I'm not organizing the full event.
I see.
Then what I'll do is I'll contact the 10 people I have in the back of my mind that comes up, and I'll call, hey, you got something? I'll help connect you and I'll help organize as well. So, so that's how I connect people. But with organizing something like the WAM Fest,
Yes.
that was just something I wanted to try to see.
You tried and you did it.
Yes, I tried and I did, because I feel like what happened was that over the years, I've gotten, especially maybe since 2009, 2010, WAMM had an exponential growth in terms of its following. Very surprising. I never saw that coming. Suddenly I had a lot more contributors. Yes, they're off and on, but there were a lot more. As well as people who used to contact me even increased. So I thought, okay, for some reason WAMM is doing something right. So I wanted to try and see if I organize a wholly just WAMM-driven event, no longer just a feature in a full event, whether that would be successful or not. And WAMM Fest was a small attempt at seeing whether it would be successful or not. And I'm quite happy with WAMM Fest in a sense that the quality of the content, the bands, the films that I promoted during the event was so good. I was so proud of that,
Of course you should.
and the people who did manage to attend it really enjoyed themselves. But and WAMM was really an experiment. I didn't even go out and look for other partners to help me publicize. It was all very grassroots. So the bands involved would share news.
Right.
The filmmakers that I'm screening would share the news. That's it. I didn't go to the newspapers. I didn't go to other websites. I didn't go to magazines. Because I just wanted to see if WAMM just decided, you know what, I just want to do something. What would the result be?
So everything came in so naturally.
Yeah, it was very
It just
organic.
fell into place.
Kind of, but I mean, it's a small event,
Right.
I think the turnout, in and out, people walking in and out was maybe 120, 150 people,
there were quite a lot of people.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a 500, 1,000 people
You'll
event.
you'll get there, I'm sure.
Yeah, so that's how WAMM Fest came about.
Oh, that's amazing. Well, we're sort of running out of time at this
Oops.
moment. Yeah, but then
And you only
maybe in
went
the
through, like, two of
future
your
we will
questions, right?
invite you again, Michael, to talk more in depth because there are more things that I would love to address. But it's the end of it. But thank you again for coming to our show
Yeah, thank
and
you
then
so
sharing
much
your
for
experiences,
joining
your
us.
thoughts.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Yes.
you.